What's going on, guys? Zennosh here, and today in this video let's discuss about the newly released version 3.11.6 update and its patch notes. Okay, so let's see what are actually the things that are actually going to be provided to us in this upcoming update. So obviously this is actually not the main major update that we're pretty much anxious about. I think it's gonna happen in like February 25th to 30th, okay, if I'm not wrong. So let's wait till then, guys. So next one is the combined summon. Okay, so right out here what we can actually see here is Water Blavatsky is gonna be the very new addition in the combined summon. And if you are asking if Water Blavatsky is nice, I would say hell yeah. She is one of my really favorite summon right out there. She's pretty great. She is a speed-based DPS 7 and she can hit like a truck. Yes, and while she is actually using her combo skills, she can get rid of so many buffs from the opponents just like that, and this can make the opponent very vulnerable towards the incoming high amount of damage. And that is pretty interesting. She can actually also become a very good DPS farmer as well, because she can farm any kind of like stages within 10 seconds of mark pretty easily, as long as you get that gloves and the necklace, the speed stat she needs. Okay, and with increased speed stats she's also gonna deal a higher amount of damage. What a perfect combo, guys. She is a really good hybrid out there. The next one is that for Water Blavatsky you will be requiring 4-star Fire Reina, 4-star Water Hearn, 4-star Forest Rakshasa, and 3-star Light Marat. Okay, and to combine 4-star Fire Reina you will be needing like this kind of servants, and for 4-star Water Hearn you will be requiring this kind of servants, which are pretty much very easy to get, especially from the mysterious dungeons. Okay, so just try to be a little bit very active in that department and you will be able to combine this kind of servants and then combine Water Blavatsky ultimately. If you are asking like how long it usually takes in order to combine a 5-star net servant, and I'm pretty much happy to actually tell it to you that it only takes about just 1 day, not even 1 day, maybe like 4 hours or maybe 5 hours, if you are pretty much very definite on it. If you are pretty much committed on it, yes, 4 hours, 5 hours is pretty much enough, provided that you have awakening materials. If you really do not have that particular type of awakening materials, then you can actually craft them as well if possible. Even if from the craft you cannot get that, then you might have to wait some day for that awakening dungeon to actually pop up. But if you are in the weekends, I really don't think you really have any problem, because in weekends all of the awakening dungeons are pretty much available, guys. The next one is combined limits and durations per servant are as follows. Okay, so right out here, guys, you can see Water Blavatsky. She can only be summoned one time as she is a 5-star net unit during the entire period of 1 month. Okay, the next one is Fire Reina, Water Urn, and Forest Rakshasa can be summoned more than 1 time. That is actually 3 times. So in a total you can get up to 9 4-star net servants. And you might be asking like, why do I really need to pull them in the 9 units? Why do I have to pull them all in all? I mean, like, just think about it, guys. When you are actually trying to fuse this kind of units with a 4-star net LD servants, there is like a 10% chance for you guys to actually land a 5-star net LD servant. Yes, you heard me right. So they can actually be a very good fodder for the fusions with the 4-star net LD servant for you to actually require a 5-star net LD servant. So for that purpose also you can actually get that. Okay, 4-star net servants, don't really underestimate them. Okay, at least they can actually be good even if they are pretty much useless. Okay, so no changes to Water HoL combine. Obviously she is the permanent member of the combined summon. Okay, combined time limit may be subject to change based on the update schedule. Okay, yes, it usually do changes time over time. The next one is servant balance. There were balance adjustment for some servants as follows. Okay, so right out here it's not actually a balance, it's actually a buff up. Yes, they have actually been buffed up. They have actually been provided a really good skill description that actually can make them pretty good. So Dark Christian, oh well, most of the time this game really does very focuses on the light and dark units, because obviously they are the main money makers in this game. Okay, if you are really wondering like how this game is really making a lot of money, then it's the light and dark units, because they are pretty much the very premium features of this game. Okay, so right out here guys, the Dark Christian has got a new sort of passive skill. This pretty like changed all of it. Okay, so right now she can remove one buff on the enemy upon combo skill use. So even if she has like I think 4-hit combo skill, I really don't think like she can take out like 4 buffs of the opponents. It is gonna be just 1 buff because it's for the whole combo skill use. Okay, so that's one thing right out there, because like let's say for Water Blavatsky, she has a 4-hit combo skill, and every hit she makes, she is actually taking out 1 buff per hit whenever she is making the combo skill use. So with 4 hits, she is actually stripping 4 buff of the opponents. Okay, but in this case, I think she is only removing 1 buff only. Alright, 70% chance to cast a revive block on all enemies for 30 seconds upon combo skill use instead of 50%. That is pretty amazing. 70% chance. This is one of the OP skill in the PvP battle, because obviously when you actually get rid of some of the opponent in the PvP battle and somehow they get revived, especially if you have Forest Sphinx or similar healing servants like that who can revive all the dead allies at the single moment, that is just OP. And if these kind of like things are around, that is gonna be really great to make sure that the dead stays dead. Okay, that's great. And deals 50% additional damage when a combo skill hits an enemy that received a revive block. Wow, that's great. Instead of just 30% additional damage, is actually going to deal 50% additional damage. That is actually going to be so frequent. Okay, and if it's actually going to be so frequent, oh my god, the damage is going to be insane. Okay, oh my god, this Dark Christian is actually going to hit really hard. Wow, this obviously can improve her standing on the PvP arena. The next one is Dark Ankos. He is pretty much a ranged DPS, speed-based DPS 7, I guess, or no, maybe attack-based DPS 7. His passive skill was a little bit pathetic, okay, but now I think it's pretty much improved. On the top of like healing all allies for 15 seconds, level 5 open skill use, which was like, what? A DPS having like this kind of skill was pretty pathetic. Removes 1 buff from all enemies whenever I think he's using any sort of skill. Also increases the combo skill damage by 40%. Wow, that's great. That's a lot of damage when cast with the secondary mark. Usually guys, if you have chain gears equipped on your servants, then this can actually be very common, and 40% additional damage is pretty great. Okay, but still it comes with a sort of you know, like condition that is pretty hard to fulfill in the first place. So this is like, okay. But in late game, it can actually create a very big, you know, like buff up, okay, or let's say a huge advantage. The next one is the Dark Simon. He is a tank servant, and his passive skill has actually been improved. In addition to like becomes immune to silence, which was good. Reduces the skill gauge of all enemies by 20% upon using active skills, which was just too awesome. 20% gauge reduction. Wow, that's great. And removes 1 debuff from self upon using active skill. Now, wow, that's really great. Okay, trying to really cleanse himself up is pretty good. If there are no debuffs to remove, grants immunity to self for 20 seconds. It's just like the Fire Simon, okay? But thing is that like Fire Simon provides the immunity to like entire team, whereas the Dark Simon is only gonna provide for himself the 20-second of immunity. But it is great. Still it is great, okay, provided that he has some additional features right out here. This actually can prove him to be a very amazing tank indeed, because like he already is immune to silence, okay, and that is already great on itself. And then like he can reduce the skill gauge of all the enemies guys, not just one, all the enemies by 20%, which is freaking huge. And now she can, she can also cast that, you know, immunity on herself for 20 seconds. That's great. That's really great. So if you have any kind of these units on your team, then feel very lucky, guys. This is really a good buff for each of them, okay, every one of them. The next one is number 2, potential changes. Dark Christine and Dark Simon's potential have been changed as their passive skill effects have been changed. Oh, potentials that are unlisted below will not be learned when you change your potential from now on. If you currently have potentials from before the update, they will be maintained until you change your potential. Okay, so right now there are so many potentials that have just been removed. If you are thinking like if it's really bad or right, I mean like good, I think it's pretty good, because like this also really allows you to lesser rerolls with the potential change stone to actually land the certain type of potential that you actually want to have. That is great. And obviously special 2 of the Dark Christine needs to be improved, because her passive really did change, and with that, instead of 50% it's now 70%, and the max is now, instead of 80%, it's 90%, which is good. 90% chance to get that revive block. 90% chance, holy crap. That's a lot, guys, that's a lot. And this kind of like this potential skills, if they are removed, then they might actually cause some discomfort in you, but I think it's pretty good, because like you are more prone to get that particular type of potential that you are really looking forward for, because there are very less amount of or less numbers of potentials to compete with. Okay, because like when I was actually making a lot of potential change, or let's say the potential reroll, I spent a lot of potential change stones. Like what? Oh my god, it really is a very costly ordeal. Okay, so it really needs to be tweaked up. The next one is Dark Simon. Yes, these are the type of like the potential that has actually been excluded, so they are not there available anymore. And in this game says that like they will stick around even if this actually applies until the time that you actually reroll them again. Once you reroll, it's gone. Okay, so if you are pretty much very comfortable with any kind of like potential right out here, just keep it and try to reroll it right now, so that you can keep it for a lifetime. But once you reroll it again, the potential, they will be gone forever. The next one is improvements. Gear inventory and the barracks expanded. Okay, so right out here, this was the one that I was really looking forward for, because my gear inventory is really getting short. I'm actually farming gears non-stop, especially due to the latest purchase of the 150 repeat battle pack, and I've been really making a lot of runs over in the Heath's dungeon 12th floor, and then I've been getting a lot of gears, and I really needed this one, and I'm pretty happy that this is right now here. And now we can actually stack up to 500 gears at a time maximum, and 450 units in the barracks this time, which is pretty great. I like it. I always like the expansion. Okay, the next one is gold required for its expansion is as follows. Gear inventory expansion, like this one. Okay, that's great. Okay, it's pretty easy to earn a lot of them. Okay, I'm not really that shocked about this one. It's okay. Barracks expansion is pretty much the same, I guess. Okay, this is okay. So I think this is pretty much it. Wow. Okay, so even if it was a very minor update, not the major update, obviously the major update is actually gonna come maybe after 15 days, or maybe let's say 2 weeks. Okay, so let's just wait for that one. But for now, this small change is actually pretty great. Getting a Water Blavatsky is pretty awesome on the first hand, and if you have this kind of dark units, then you are pretty lucky, because I myself has Dark Anko. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this one, and that's really great. The next one is potential change. Potential change is pretty great as well right over here. I think these are pretty much useless, and they are pretty much like gonna be they are erased right off now. And the Christine and the Simon has got that kind of stuff, so it's pretty good. And improvement with the gears and the barracks spaces is pretty great as well. More slots to actually fill in, or like let's say we can stash more gears and units in the barrack. That is pretty great on itself. and pretty good. I'm pretty much up with this like update patch note. Okay, I'm very happy with this one. So this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. See you guys in the next video.